Good morning. At Windsor.
Good morning. I'm very glad to have been able to join you.
This week, a behind-the-scenes look at a royal video chat. Meghan turns 39, and William reveals one of the worst gifts he's ever given.
I think I gave my wife a pair of binoculars once. Binoculars? Yeah. Well, I think I was convincing myself about it. I was like, yeah, but these are really amazing. Look how far you can see. And she's like looking at me going, they're binoculars. Like, what's going on?
Welcome to the Royal Reports, everyone. I'm your host, Sharon Carpenter, and it's been another busy week for the royal family, so let's get right to the news. Last week, Camilla turned some heads when she became the first member of the royal family to step out while wearing a mask. The Duchess of Cornwall sported a Liberty print by Fiona Clare as she made her way through London for a day of royal engagements at the National Gallery and the Boots Piccadilly store. There, she thanked the staff for continuing to provide essential pharmacy services during the COVID-19 crisis. Last Wednesday, BBC Radio 5 released a special episode of That Peter Crouch podcast featuring a wide-ranging conversation with Prince William. The Duke actually sat down with the former soccer star and his co-host back in March, but the interview was only released last week ahead of the FA Cup final. During the 45-minute podcast, William confessed that he's not always the best gift giver. Take a look.
I think I gave my wife a pair of binoculars once. Binoculars? Yeah. Well, I think I was convincing myself about it. I was like, yeah, but these are really amazing. Look how far you can see. And she's like looking at me going, they're binoculars. Like, what's going on?
Also on Wednesday, the British television network ITV premiered a new documentary, Anne, the Princess Royal at 70, to help celebrate the upcoming August 15th birthday of the Queen's only daughter. While unfortunately, the 90-minute special is not currently available to watch here in the US, ITV has shared several clips online, including this behind-the-scenes look at a royal video call.
Good morning. At Windsor.
Good morning. I'm very glad to have been able to join you.
Can you see everybody? You should have 6 people on your screen.
Yes, well, I can see 4 anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, you don't need me. You know what I look like.
On Thursday, Prince Harry took part in a virtual global summit for his sustainable tourism project, Travelist. From his current home in LA, the Duke delivered a passionate address urging the travel industry to work together as they recover from the devastating impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Here's part of a clip shared on ITV.
The struggles we face are shouldered together, and the solutions must be too. This is surely how we shape the future. But there is a long road to recovery ahead. We all know this, but it is undoubtedly an opportunity for us to work together and build back better.
On Friday, British-based charity My Grateful announced on Twitter that they'd received an £8,000 donation, roughly $10,000, on behalf of the Duchess of Sussex. The unique organisation runs cooking classes taught by refugees, asylum seekers and migrants who are struggling to integrate and find employment in the UK. Also on Friday, William took to social media to share a conversation he had with the coach of the English national soccer team, Gareth Southgate. During the discussion, the Duke spoke about the important role sports can play in tackling the stigma around the topic of mental health.
The idea of being able to be open about your emotions and fix a problem is a positive, it's a strength, not a weakness. And I think that culture is something that we hopefully are seeing a slight shift in, but we need to, use certain vehicles like professional sportsmen and women to enhance that message.
While COVID-19 safety protocols prevented William from attending the heads-up FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium on Saturday, the Duke was able to celebrate the soccer showcase with a viewing party at the Queen's Sandringham estate. Prior to the game, which was won by the London-based team Arsenal, the Duke spoke with approximately 25 local fans, supporters of the Heads Up mental health campaign, and frontline workers about their experiences during the pandemic. On Tuesday, to mark the 150th anniversary of the British Red Cross, several members of the royal family came together to recognise the historic impact of the organisation's volunteers and staff. In addition to a heartfelt letter from the Queen, who has been the charity's patron for over 6 decades, Kate shared a photo of her grandmother, who served as a volunteer nurse during World War II. And finally, also on Tuesday, Meghan celebrated her 39th birthday, which the royal family celebrated on social media with these photos. Of course, everyone here at the Royal Report would like to wish the Duchess of Sussex a belated happy birthday. All right, it's time now for today's guest. People Senior News Editor Erin Hill is here. Erin, how are you doing?
Hey, Erin, I'm great. How are you?
Good. So glad you're here. There's something I've noticed for a while now that I've been dying to discuss with you, the Duchess of Cambridge's photography skills. I think we've all been enjoying the personal photos shared on Kensington Royal, but I'm not sure everyone realizes that Kate's often the one behind the camera. And I should point out, photography, clearly something she's passionate about. Early during the pandemic, Kate spearheaded the Hold Still Community Photography Project in collaboration with the National Portrait Gallery, which was meant to capture the spirit of the UK during this unprecedented time. Later this month, 100 of these images will be featured in a virtual exhibition on the National Portrait Gallery's website. That's why we thought now was as good a time as any to have this discussion. So first off, Erin, what can you tell us about how or when Kate's passion for photography got started?
You know, Kate even calls herself an enthusiastic amateur photographer, and this goes back to her college years. She was something of an art buff. She studied art history at the University of St. Andrews, which is where she met Prince William. And for her thesis in school, she actually focused specifically on photography and throughout the Victorian era. So she definitely appreciates this as an art form. And now she has the perfect subjects to practice this on her own kids. So she's really developed this skill throughout the years.
Yeah, she certainly has. Now, it's interesting, the world has seen so many staged royal portraits over the years, but Kate's photos are such a departure from that style. Of course, there's an ongoing expectation and I suppose pressure really, that the family will share photos to mark birthdays and other milestones. But Kate's able to really craft them in such an effortless way, capturing these very relaxed, normal, non-royal looking images. And it certainly makes the Cambridges seem a lot more relatable than previous royal families. Erin, tell us a little bit about the expected role of royal portraits and how Kate's personal touch has revolutionized or at least modernized royal photography.
Yeah, like you said, traditionally, royal portraits kind of are there to mark milestones within the royal family, whether it's a birthday, a royal engagement, and to see the royal heirs grow up through the years. Because they're younger, they're out of the public eye, not going on public outings. This is an opportunity for the royal family to kind of share glimpses of them growing up. And in an effort to, I think, kind of protect the kids, Kate has found a way to satisfy this role while also kind of keeping the kids still kind of enjoying a fun-loving childhood and not necessarily sitting a couple times a year for professional portraits. Of course, George will need to on occasion because he is the future heir. So you'll sometimes see him in a more formal setting, like we did over Christmas with his dad and grandfather and great-grandmother for a more official portrait. But Kate, as a very hands-on mom, she's just having the kids outside playing, whether it's on family vacation in the backyard, jumping on top of William and at Anmer Hall, and kind of giving glimpses of them throughout the years.
Now, I know we've often discussed how Kate enjoys crafting an image with a layered message, most frequently through her fashion, whether it's highlighting designers of the country she's visiting during a royal tour or wearing the colors of a nation's flag during a video call. But Erin, she's also done the same sort of layered messaging with her photography, right?
She has, and this is kind of a hidden way she's able to relay a message through these photographs. We've seen several examples even within the past year. For Louis' second birthday, she showed him finger painting, making a beautiful rainbow, and of course that symbolizes NHS and the frontline workers and all the work they're doing through the pandemic, so this was a way to shine a light on that. Then for Charlotte's birthday a month later in May, we saw her delivering handmade pasta that she made with Kate to elderly neighbors. And then for George's 6th birthday last summer, we saw him for the first time wearing an official national soccer team jersey, showing his national UK pride.
Yeah, as you said, certainly while quarantining during the pandemic, Kate has had a lot of time with some very captive and very adorable subjects, which is something she discussed in May during an ITV interview she did to promote the Hold Still project. Take a look.
Yeah, during this time I spent lots of time putting out my camera and taking photographs of children, because they're always around us and we're doing stuff together, which has been great.
Now, I also want to play a clip from the interview where Kate talks about some of the same things we've been discussing, specifically her thoughts on capturing those candid moments, which she is so good at.
One of the fantastic things about photography is really capturing that moment. So it's not stage setting it, it's not setting it up perfectly, it's not clearing your house away so you've got a perfect studio set up, but it's really capturing those moments that feel real to you and that capture a moment or an expression or a feeling, I suppose. And that's the power of photography. It can capture a moment and tell a story.
So in case there was any doubt, Kate's photos are not happy accidents, right? This is clearly something she's given a lot of thought to.
I think so, definitely. I mean, considering her background and kind of knowing how to set up a good lighting situation and then capturing a candid moment that still seems to satisfy that formal portrait from the royal family that we all want to see. She knows what she's doing, and she knows how to get her kids to laugh, to smile, and to see these lighthearted moments. We've seen some really amazing ones through the years, even as they were really small children, as babies, just lighting up the frame. So she's the perfect photographer for her kids.
So any idea what kind of camera she uses? I remember seeing her with an actual professional looking camera while touring Pakistan. And in one of the clips we just played, she references pulling out her camera. So I'm curious if that's normal for her, or if, like most of us, she typically uses her cell phone.
No, I'm sure she does, but we know that she has been known to use a Canon camera. So I'm sure she has one of those that she's upgraded throughout the years. But, you know, like everyone, I'm sure she takes photos on her cell phone. So you can imagine just like families all over, they're sharing photos they snap on their phone of their kids, using them as backgrounds. So she does a mix of both.
Very relatable. And finally, Erin, I know it's a hard choice, but what's your all-time favorite Kate photograph and why?
That is so hard because there's been some amazing ones, but I'm going to have to go back to the start where we first started seeing her talent come through. It was the first official photo after Princess Charlotte's birth, shortly after she was born in 2015, and George is cradling his little sister in his arms, giving her, you know, a little kiss, and it was just a really sweet moment. And not only were we enthusiastic and excited to see Charlotte in this setting, but then to see George and his role as big brother was just really adorable.
It was. I love that one too. But my personal favorite has to be the Instagram versus reality photos that Kate posted for Louis' second birthday back in April. You remember? So
Love
cute.
And it was great to see her kind of get in on that, you know, Instagram trend too. It was the first time we've seen her do that.
It really was. All right, Erin, thank you so much for breaking all of this down for us. Great chatting with you as always. The Royal Report will be right back, but first I want to play another clip from that ITV interview where Kate talks about those adorable Louis photos I just mentioned.
This was such a great shot.
I should have taken a photograph of what I looked like after that as well. Luckily that wasn't documented, but I looked like Louis at the end of this.
Welcome back. It's time now for a quick trip across the pond for an inside look at one of Kate's all-time favorite children's shops. This is London Calling.
Hi, I'm Molly Jesson, and today I'm calling from Chelsea in London. I'm here with Sophie Merman. Sophie is the award-winning retail entrepreneur and owner of Trotters, one of Kate Middleton's favourite children's wear boutiques. And Sophie has very kindly offered to show us around.
Welcome to Trotters.
How happy does it make you coming in here and seeing children enjoying, the
I love
space?
it. I love it. That's what it's all about. It's seeing children coming in, enjoying bringing their parents in, and it being a pleasant shopping experience. The whole business was really set up around children to make it fun for children to come in, to do things that they don't enjoy having done, like getting their shoes fitted, getting their hair cut. And I just felt that if you could make those two elements fun, then the children would bring their parents in.
And I believe Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, started shopping here when Prince George was little.
So Trotter style and the young royal style is very much aligned. We sell and we design very classic children's clothes, but with a little twist.
Tell us a little bit about that first time that George wore one of your pieces.
It was actually a pair of Hampton canvas shoes, a pair of navy T-bar shoes. And the sales just went, they pretty much crashed the website. So the impact when a young member of the royal family wears our brand is extraordinary.
Tell us a little bit about this beautiful dress. This is actually a piece that was worn by Princess Charlotte.
It's a beautiful dress. The print is called Betsy, and it's a very old Liberty print that has been recoloured many times. And this is the new colour combination, which in fact was introduced for last year. And every detail is very fine. For example, you've got a thin line of piping on each side of the waistband. You've got stitching along the collar. And you've got this beautiful bow at the back. So it's just a very pretty traditional dress. It's been a hugely popular piece since Princess Charlotte was photographed on the occasion of her 4th birthday party wearing that dress.
I remember particularly a very cute piece was the slippers that Prince George wore to meet President Obama. Tell us a little bit about those.
Again, very traditional slippers, navy blue, very smart and very easy to wear. So the styles that we sell are generally very simple, very clean cut and very easy to wear.
And Kate herself has actually taken style inspiration from her children, because we know that Prince George, Princess Charlotte have been pictured in these exact canvas plimp soles, but Kate herself actually wore them for the first time in public recently, didn't she?
Yes, she was wearing them for a cricket match that she took part in on an official trip to Pakistan and was photographed wearing Hampton canvas plums, which was extraordinary. We had no idea that she bought them actually, so it was a complete surprise when we saw the photograph and obviously a delight.
And how do you feel about your pieces that you design here? They actually are becoming a piece of history, because, you know, Prince George wore those beautiful tartan trousers in the official picture that was released at Christmas time with the 3 heirs, Prince William,
Yes.
Prince Charles and George.
It's wonderful, and I'm very proud, and my team are very proud. Do you know, I get excited seeing any child walking around wearing something from Trotters. It just gives me a great buzz. And I was in Venice a few months ago, and somebody came off one of the little vaporettos with a child wearing, in fact, this Betsy Liberty dress. And it's just wonderful. I also want to run up to them and say, oh, we designed that.
Sophie, thank you so much for having us and for showing me around your beautiful boutique here in Chelsea.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I've thoroughly enjoyed showing you around my store.
That was People London correspondent Monique Jesson, who, as always, shot the entire segment on her phone. Great job, Monique. And if you're wondering why there was zero social distancing going on, that's because it was filmed earlier in the year, pre-COVID. And speaking of COVID, with things continuing to open up around the country, I think we could all use a little refresher on our royal etiquette.
Hi, I'm Myka Meier, and today I'm teaching you the Cambridge carry. This is Kate's go-to pose whenever she's carrying a clutch and walking, speaking to others, and trust me, you'll be using this at your next event too. This pose is great whether walking or standing. When walking, make sure your shoulders are rolled back and your clutch is being carried in front of you. When standing, with the clutch in front of you, make sure your toes are pointed forward and together. When you're holding your clutch, make sure your hands are together, your fingers are facing down and together. When practicing this pose, make sure you don't hold your clutch with just one hand. 2 hands is key. If you hold it with one, you could clench your fist, and that tends to make you look tense. The big don't with this is never put your clutch under the pit of your arm. A bonus tip, we call it a clutch, not a purse. A purse is for change. This pose is great for you to use, especially if you're nervous, because it gives you something to do with your hands. Remember, carry your clutch with your fingers facing down and together. That's the Cambridge carry.
That was, of course, friend of the show and royal etiquette expert Myka Meier. It's time for a quick break, but the Royal Reports will be right back. Welcome back. It's time now for our social media minute with our social media correspondent, Gillian Fleischman. Gillian, how's it going?
Hi, Sharon. I'm great. Excited to be here.
So what do you have for us today?
Well, the royals posted a ton this week, so narrowing down what to include here was not easy. Last Tuesday, we got a closer look at the Duchess of Cornwall's visit to the National Gallery on the Clarence House Insta story. After 111 days, it's finally reopened, and the story highlighted the changes that have been made to prioritize visitor safety. There will now be one-way routes, and we got to follow Camilla as she explored the gallery. So happy it's reopened. Last Wednesday, the Kensington Royal Instagram posted some behind-the-scenes photos from William's time recording that Peter Crouch podcast as part of his Heads Up campaign, which promotes conversations about mental health. On Tuesday, he got followers excited that something big was coming soon with this image and some telling emojis in the caption. Love that William has continued to bring awareness to such an important cause. Also last Wednesday, to mark what would have been the start of the 139th Sandringham Flower Show, Camilla and Charles posted these images to the Clarence House page of their attendance throughout the years. The one-day show usually attracts about 20,000 visitors each year, and the profits are donated to local charities. My favorite photo is definitely the one of Charles and an eagle in what seems like a staring contest. And finally, this past Thursday, the Clarence House Instagram highlighted Prince Charles's participation in the Big Butterfly Count. The survey helps assess the health of the environment by counting the number and type of butterflies seen across the UK. The prince took part at his Highgrove home, which the Post noted often sees a ton of butterflies this time of year. What a fun summer activity. And that's your social media minute.
All right, great stuff today, Gillian. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, next we have an anniversary I'm betting most of you probably missed. 5 years ago last month, Prince William started a brand new job. Take a look.
Starting a new job can be intimidating, even for a future king.
Just want to say very, very happy to be here. First day, nerves, but starting off on a wet Cambridge day, but very much looking forward to getting started.
On July 13th, 2015, Prince William started his job as a pilot for the East Anglian Air Ambulance based out of Cambridge International Airport.
I'm hugely excited to be joining a very professional bunch of guys and girls doing a sort of unique, complex job with the air ambulance. And it's sort of a follow-on from where I was with the military with search and rescue. So many of the same sorts of skills and in essence the similar type of job just follows on from search and rescue to here. So it was a natural progression.
While the Duke of Cambridge had previously flown for the military as a member of the RAF Search and Rescue Force, this was the first time a senior royal had ever signed a contract with a civilian employer. But of course, Prince William wasn't doing it for the money. He donated his entire salary to charity.
For me, it's also a really important point to be grounded, and I feel doing a job like this really helps with sort of grounding the core of what I'm sort of trying to become.
What is that? What are you trying to become?
It's a very good question, Tom. I think just trying to be a good guy, trying to do what you can, and trying to be a decent individual, thoughtful, all those sorts of things, qualities in people that you would look and want to be associated with and know.
All right, Royal Watchers, that's our show for today. Remember to follow people on Twitter to watch the latest episodes of The Royal Report, streaming every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm Sharon Carpenter. Stay safe, keep calm, and carry on.